or is Nate able to get rid of that Togedemaru and allow his Zergafree to kind of eat through Alex's team? So it'll be interesting to see what these two trainers decide to use, what strategies they want to use to get around whatever their opponent's trying to do. So right now we're back to the spot where we're gonna make their team selection. So as you can see, we've got teams on the screen like earlier. For Nate is on the right, Alex on the left, if you can't recognize them by their in-game names. So yeah, if you kind of, with teams like Alex, you generally expect to see Amandabuzz come out with the lead. Maybe keep that Togedemaru in back so you can potentially switch into electric type attacks or switch in to bring in fake out. But he could opt to lead with the Togedemaru and bring in something that could appreciate the fake out support. Whereas Nate, he's probably gonna normally likes to lead with something like Aerodactyl to set up a Tailwind or just disrupt with Rock Slide or other moves. So we'll see how these trainers decide to approach it. Arcanine also provides good Intimidate support on the Garchomp on Nate's side. Nate's side is mostly special attackers, and so Arcanine may not be the best bet. It doesn't really have a great matchup here. Whereas Nate's Arcanine, it does really help against the Celesteela and the Tapu Fini, but it's got to watch the Togedemaru, but it's got to watch out for the Tapu Fini and the Garchomp. Both these players seem to be taking their time, don't want to rush into any decisions. It's kind of a interesting matchup, like I said, with how the Zergatree and the Togedemaru interact with each other, and you've also got the potential speed ties with the Garchomps, and they don't know which items the Pokemon are holding, so get right into it. And it looks like Alex decided to lead with Tapu Fini and Mandibuzz, and Nate decided to lead with his Tapu Lele and Aerodactyl. So we got both the Tapus out, both the Tailwind support options out there. Unnerve is not going to let anyone on Alex's team eat berries, which is important to keep into account since the Super Citrus berries have become quite popular these days. And we see that here that the Tapu Fini, as expected, is slower than the Lele, and it activates the Misty Seed on that Mandibuzz, giving it a special attack boost, allowing it to take these attacks from Tapu Fini a little bit easier. Now this can be a bit of an interesting turn. We could see Nate elect to just go for a Rock Slide and kind of hope to get a flinch off on that Mandibuzz, because that would be huge. If he gets a flinch on the Mandibuzz and attacks it with, say, a Moonblast, he might be able to knock it out next turn, which would be huge, because then Alex wouldn't be able to have Tailwind. But you would also see just the trainers decide to match Tailwinds. Maybe the Fini could set up if it's carrying something like a Calm Mind. So we'll have to see. This Lele, it's not really threatened right now by unboosted Fini or Mandibuzz. Should be pretty free to fire off attacks, and we see Mandibuzz come out and go into Togedemaru, so that'll be able to take should be able to take Moonblast fairly well from Tapu Lele if that's who they decide to target, and it does right around half damage, and we see the special attack drop not really going to hurt as Togedemaru is normally physical, and we do see the Rock Slide just come out from Nate. So always, whenever there's a Rock Slide, there's the chance of flinching, so we'll see. And he does get that flinch on Tapu Fini. That is big because Tapu Fini is able to do some massive damage to Aerodactyl, and also it could potentially set up with Calm Mind. But as it stands now, Alex really got nothing out of that turn other than getting his Togedemaru in, and Nate got some good damage off and is really chipped away at this Togedemaru. So Nate does have the fake out, or Nate is under pressure from that fake out Togedemaru, so Tapu Fini, he could elect to fake out that Aerodactyl, break its Focus Sash, and possibly prevent Tailwind from going up. We'll have to see what Alex decides to do here. If you're Nate, you may want to just double it. You may want to try to attack this Togedemaru, or instead of, say, go for a Moonblast and Tailwind, so that he can either give you the Tailwind, or he can give up his Togedemaru, which would make the life a lot easier for a Zergatree if he has it. So we do see the fake out come out. The Tapu Lele does a decent amount of damage, and we see a Tailwind coming out from that Aerodactyl. And as you saw last turn, Lele is faster than Aerodactyl, so that is revealing the choice card for Aerodactyl. We see the Muddy Water come out onto the Tapu Lele. It misses the Aerodactyl, which is not a very good sign for Alex, as you definitely would like to at least break that Focus Sash, but you do a lot of damage with Muddy Water as well. So now Nate's in a really good spot because he threatened this Togedemaru with a Moonblast. Tapu Lele is probably not in KO range from a a Moonblast from the Tapu Lele, so it can pretty freely just fire off a Moonblast. Aerodactyl, it might not want to stay in here because it's not really doing much with Rock Slide. It could go for some sort of support move like Skydrop or Wide Guard if it has it, but maybe it just wants to switch out. But it's going to stay in. We'll see what it decides to go for. Decides to go for the Moonblast onto the Tapu Fini. Does some good damage and also gets a special attack drop. So that's just another great turn for Nate. And we see the Rock Slide coming out. Brings both Fini and Togedemaru in range for another Rock Slide. Will get the knockout. Togedemaru does not flinch and gets the KO on Tapu Lele, so finally Alex starts to get some damage off onto Nate, and the Tapu Fini also does not flinch and gets a Moonblast off onto his Aerodactyl, gets a special attack drop, but that will not matter for that physical attacker. So let's see who Nate decides to bring in. He's still got 2 more turns of Tailwind, and all of his Mons are probably going to be naturally faster than both of these anyway. So we see the Tapu Fini come in for Nate. Obviously, the Tapu Fini does not want to take an electric type attack from Togedemaru, but with thanks to the Tailwind, it will be able to outspeed the Togedemaru and the Tapu Fini, and both of these Pokemon are in range for a Rock Slide or a Muddy Water or a Moonblast, so it's really kind of whatever Nate decides wants to do. If he wants to get greedy, he could perhaps go for a Rock Slide and a Calm Mind, but that leaves you open to the Rock Slide miss and getting a Togedemaru Zing Zap onto that Tapu Fini. So he could just elect to play it safe and go for a Moonblast onto that Togedemaru, but we'll have to see just how he wants to handle this turn. Meanwhile, if you're Alex, you're not really in too great a position. Perhaps you want to stall up Tailwind a little bit here with some protects, or try to switch in anything, but he doesn't really have any safe switches to a water type attack. Anything, Garchomp will take it. He'll take Muddy Water plus Rock Slide fairly well, but he's got to hope that he didn't go for a Moonblast onto that slide. And we do see the Tapu Fini get knocked out. Let's see what this opposing Tapu Fini went for. It's a Calm Mind, so he did go for the Calm Mind Rock Slide play. Yeah, he believes in his Rock Slide accuracy, and so we'll see this Tapu Fini is now a lot more threatening thanks to its boosted special attack and special defense. So now we've got Togedemaru in. That does really help with Fake Out because there is only 1 turn left of Tailwind, so Alex could stop this Togedemaru from getting off an attack under Tailwind, but the problem is that he's probably not going to be able to knock out the Togedemaru, so even after the Tailwind goes off, he's going to have to somehow deal with this Tapu Fini, and Garchomp is not going to want to take a boosted Moonblast from this Fini, so if you're Nate, you're in a pretty good position. Yeah, he's doing to protect himself from the Fake Out and the double target, potentially. We see the Fake Out come out onto the Aerodactyl, so Alex does not fall for that protect, goes for the Fake Out onto the Aerodactyl, and a Swords Dance coming out from Garchomp. So Alex actually picked up quite a good turn here, because now Tailwind just ends. Rock Slide's not going to do too much damage to Garchomp, so he's going to outspeed the Tapu Fini, and he can front that. If he's carrying Tectonic Rage, he will be able to knock out that Tapu Fini. And since Tapu Fini just protected, and Nate does not have any ground resist other than Aerodactyl, who's already on the field, that slot is guaranteed to take a Tech Rage unless Rock Slide decides to flinch him out. So we'll see what happens here. I've got to be pretty sure that Garchomp's going to want to Tech Rage that Tapu Fini slot. And Togedemaru might want to switch out to preserve the Fake Out pressure. Once Aerodactyl is gone, it will be able to outspeed everything on Nate's team aside from that Garchomp. And we see the Rock Slide coming out from Aerodactyl. We'll see if it should pick up the Togedemaru, and it does. We'll see if Garchomp is able to attack through this potential flinch chance. And that we see that Tectonic Rage dance coming out, so looks like Garchomp is not going to flinch, and it's going to do a lot of damage to this Tapu Fini. I fully expect this will KO the Tapu Fini, so let's go through the formality of the Z-move animation and say goodbye to Tapu Fini right now. Going to the Corruptor at the end. And there goes Tapu Fini, say goodbye. So now we are in a 2-2 situation. Both teams have the option to set up Tailwind. It'll be interesting to see who Nate's last Mon is. If it's Garchomp, then I think Alex is actually in a decent position. He can manage to, because Mandibuzz has access to recovery and can 1v1 both of these Pokemon. So we could see the Mandibuzz, as long as it doesn't get flinched out, it could end up making the comeback here. If you're Nate, I think you got to go for those flinches here because you really need to, you can't let this Garchomp get an attack off. So you're going to have to either hope you win the speed tie and get a Tech Rage off and KO it, but even if you do, I don't think that Garchomp and Aerodactyl will be able to 1v1 this Mandibuzz without some help from Rock Slide flinches. So if I'm Alex, I would want to get rid of that Aerodactyl with the Mandibuzz, and then if he doesn't, Nate could potentially have something like a Swords Dance that would allow him to, but you can't really Sword Dance on Mandibuzz because they foul play you and will be able to do massive damage if you boost your own attack. So it'll be really hard for him to out-damage this Garchomp without KOing himself. So he does see Nate go for the Sky Drop onto the Garchomp and also a Swords Dance. So like I said, this is kind of a double-edged sword because now foul play is going to do a whole lot of damage to that Garchomp. And he went for the foul play onto the Aerodactyl. So Alex on this, so it's really going to come down to who wins this Garchomp speed tie. We got 2+2 Garchomps. They can both do hefty damage to each other. But even if Alex loses the speed tie, he could still be in a pretty good position because if he does a Tailwind with his Mandibuzz, it'll be the fastest thing on the field. That Garchomp will be at +2, which means it's incredibly threatened by the foul play, and it'll be able to outspeed and KO his Mandibuzz this turn, or the Aerodactyl this turn. So we know Aerodactyl is going to Sky Drop. And if I'm Alex, he has a couple of good options. He can either go for a Tailwind or a foul play onto that Garchomp. We'll see what he decides to do. And we see that the opposing Garchomp is either faster or won the speed tie. That is going to get rid of the Garchomp on Alex's side, and we'll see what Mandibuzz decides to do. It goes for a Tailwind, so now Mandibuzz is the fastest thing on the field. If Garchomp on Nate's side is carrying a Rock Slide, it will be able to do a good amount of damage with that boosted Rock Slide to the Mandibuzz. I don't know if it'll be able to pick up the one-hit KO though, which is really the question here, especially since Mandibuzz with its ability, with its move Roost, it's able to remove its flying typing. You see a Protect coming off for Garchomp. That could be interesting because he's probably, he's targeting down the Aerodactyl here as that does not want to get Rock Slid. And that picks up the KO, so that's looking pretty good for Alex. He's still got 2 more turns of Tailwind. This Garchomp will definitely be 2-shot, potentially 1-shot, depending on the investment by this foul play with the Garchomp at +2. So Alex is in a pretty good spot. So let's see if this is able to pick up the KO, and not quite. So now we're going to come down to Nate can win if he does a lot of damage with Rock Slide, or it's probably, we're going to have another game where this is going to come down to both 50/50s and Rock Slide, because right here, either Nate can go for the Protect to stall out the Tailwind and try to pick up a, if he gets the Protect here, then Tailwind will run out. Or no, he's still got 1 more turn after this, so he can go for either Protect here and then another Protect, but see, Alex could read this and go for a Roost, and if Alex gets a Roost off, he might be able to live another Rock Slide. And he does correctly call the Roost and go for the Roost, so Mandibuzz will be back a little bit of a half HP, and he's got the Tailwind out, so yeah, if Nate would have gone for the Rock Slide there, he probably would have won the game right away, but now we have to see how much damage Rock Slide does. And if this, it's going to come down to damage and flinch or damage, and he gets the KO, so looks like Nate is going to pick up a very close game one, a very well played game by both sides, and we'll see how they can adjust to that. For Alex, I would look to get off to a faster start. In the beginning of the game, he kind of got flinched by that Aerodactyl a little bit. He didn't really gain much when he switched in that Togedemaru, and it took a lot of damage, so Alex just got to work on getting leading in a better position. And if you're Nate, you want to kind of do the opposite, make sure he doesn't, make sure you keep that Aerodactyl out there, keep the pressure on, make sure that Alex isn't able to get his momentum going. The one thing to watch out for, though, is if he leads with Tapu Lele, normally things cannot get faked out, but Aerodactyl can get faked out, which it doesn't carry Protect, as we saw from that move we saw. Well, it could still carry Protect, we only saw 3 moves, but Aerodactyls normally do not carry Protect, so it's normally would be losing the potential Focus Sash by taking a fake out. We'll see what Alex decides to bring. He could bring the Celesteela if he feels like that would offer him a great switch into all of the moves, especially after seeing Nate not bring Circuitry. It could could tempt him to bring that Celesteela, but it's also hard to bring with Arcanine and Xurkitree, which, if he knows Nate's going to leave on the bench, it would be a good call, but you can't know that going into the game. We'll have to see. He knows that the Lele is Scarf now, so he can adjust his play a little bit. As for Nate, yeah, you just gotta kind of keep going with what got you there. Go with that Aerodactyl, put a lot of pressure on with Rock Slide, get some decent damage off, get some Tailwinds up. Also get some pressure with Scarf Lele. Seems to have a Scarf Lele and Tailwind at least seems to have a pretty good, give Alex's team a little bit of trouble. You see Alex already got his left team locked in. Nate's right along there, so we're going to go right into game 2. Alright, so we see the same leads from Nate, Tapu Lele and Aerodactyl on different sides this time. And we see Togedemaru with Magnet Handbars. So this already looks like a better lead for Alex, as he's able to, if he wants, he can fake out the Aerodactyl and go for Tailwind, so that he'll be able to outspeed both of these Pokemon with both of his Pokemon. But he does have to watch out for the Moonblast. His Mandibuzz does not have the special defense boost, so it will take a hefty amount of damage from a Moonblast from Tapu Lele. He could elect to switch in the Tapu Fini and go for a Tailwind, but then he runs the risk of getting Rock Slide flinched again. So. And we do see the fake out coming out onto that Aerodactyl, because it can, as mentioned earlier, flying types can get faked out in Psychic Terrain. See the Moonblast on the Mandibuzz, probably about 75% coming out, and 70% is a special attack drop, but not really going to matter. And we do see the Tailwind go up, which is good, because now Aerodactyl is threatened by that Togedemaru Zing Zap. And he does have a Garchomp he can switch in, but other than that, he doesn't really have anything that wants to take that Zing Zap. And if he does, so Alex is pretty free to attack into that Aerodactyl slot, not allow him to get his Tailwind up, and keep his own Tailwind up. Meanwhile, he can switch in something to put more pressure on this Tapu Lele than the Mandibuzz right now. Or he could elect to go for a Roost, but that might get KO'd by a Moonblast. We do see the Aerodactyl go out into the Garchomp, so he's predicting that Zing Zap to come out. We'll see if Alex decided to go for the Zing Zap onto the Garchomp, and he did. So, and we see that the Tapu Lele with the Choice Scarf is actually able to outspeed the Mandibuzz, even with the Tailwind. So now Alex's Mandibuzz is going to go down, but he will get a free switch into whatever Mon he decides. Let's see which Pokemon it is he decides to bring in. And it is his own Garchomp. So Garchomp can do pretty big damage to all of these Pokemon with Tectonic Rage. Probably won't. He could potentially one-shot that Garchomp, but it really depends on the investment on both of them. You can't really rely on that. The Garchomp is threatened by that Tapu Lele, and it can't. But you got to watch out for the Aerodactyl switch in with your Tectonic Rages. So we'll see if what Alex decides to go for here. Maybe he doesn't think that the Lele will stay in, and he protects his Garchomp during a Tech Rage, or could even, this Garchomp could just be a bait and he could switch it out once, just trying to use it to get the Lele to switch out, but we will see. You could also see a Tech Rage and a Zing Zap go into something, so that if he switches in Aerodactyl, he gets a KO either way, but you also still don't want to waste a Z move like that, even if you do get a bunch of damage off. And we see the Garchomp switch out into the Aerodactyl, so we'll see who Alex decided to target with his Garchomp. And we see the Poison Jab coming out, so probably, I would expect this to be a double target into this Tapu Lele, since Poison Jab will not pick up the KO. And we do see the Zing Zap come out into the Tapu Lele, so good turn there by Alex, who's able to get a knockout out, and he still has another turn of Tailwind. This Aerodactyl probably cannot protect, so should be able to get a Zing Zap off onto it with the Togedemaru. See what Nate decides to put in to try to put some pressure on Alex's team. And we see the Garchomp coming back in, so that's pretty significant, because now he's got a very free Zing Zap onto that Aerodactyl slot, because Garchomp cannot switch in for on Nate's side. both these Garchomps are worried about getting Tech Rage by the other. Obviously, Alex's is under Trick Room so far, Tailwind, so he'll be able to go first. But at the same time, you could see him maybe get greedy and go for a Swords Dance here, expecting the other Garchomp to protect, which we do see that come out. We'll see if Alex does go for the Swords Dance or not. No, we see a Tech Rage coming out, so this will most likely be on that Garchomp, so probably don't Tech Rage into Aerodactyl slots. Which through the Protect should do about 20%. Another long journey to the center of the Earth. And we see right around 20% coming out on that Garchomp, and Zing Zap coming out on the Aerodactyl. I expect this to pick up the KO, which would be big, because then, yeah, now Nate's side is only able to set up Tailwind, and Alex has 3 Mons to Nate's 2, and his Mons are all very healthy. So it does depend what Alex's last Pokemon is. We do see the Xurkitree coming in for Nate, so the Xurkitree definitely doesn't like dealing with the Garchomp. Perhaps Xurkitrees normally either carry Hidden Power Ice or Dazzling Gleam to hit Garchomp, but Garchomp is going to be faster and it's going to be able to get off Earthquakes. We'll see what Alex has in back to help out against these last two. Alex is in a pretty good position right now because he's probably not going to be able to get knocked out by that, even by a Tectonic Rage from the opposing Garchomp, unless the Nate's Garchomp is adamant, but it outsped Alex's Garchomp last game, so it's unlikely that that is the case. Could see it pretty just a Protector Earthquake play from Togedemaru, and that looks like what we're going to see. We see the Spiky Shield come out from Togedemaru, not wanting to take any damage from either of these Garchomps. And we see this is Nate's Garchomp going for a Tectonic Rage, probably onto the Garchomp. It could go, would still probably KO that Togedemaru through the Protect if he decided to target that slot, but I would bet that this is onto the Garchomp. Yeah, here we go. We got 4 Garchomp. This Garchomp practically lives in the center here. He's been there 3 times in the past 2 games. And we do see it live with 11 HP, which, as I said, the Garchomps do not reliably KO other Garchomps unless they're adamant. And let's see if the Earthquake is enough to take with Xurkitree. It is not. That is a bulky Xurkitree. And we see the Pinch Fairy come in, so this Xurkitree is going to be pretty healthy after taking that Earthquake, which is normally not something you see. And we see a Dazzling Gleam come out, which will be able to pick up that Garchomp with 11 HP. So now we've got a 2-on-2 situation here. No matter what Alex's last Pokemon is, that Garchomp on Nate's side is going to be the fastest Mon on the field, and it will be able to KO that Togedemaru with a Earthquake. So if it's anything but Arcanine, we're going to have, Alex is going to have a tough time no matter what, because he's going to have the Electric Lead out, yeah, because the only non-electric weak is Arcanine, which is weak to Earthquake, so no real good situation there. So what can we see here from Alex? Potentially that Togedemaru could be holding Focus Sash, in which case it may be able to perhaps Encore, if it carries an Encore, and Encore the Xurkitree into Dazzling Gleam, and then Tapu Fini would be able to win it through just 1v1. We see Earthquake come out and a Protect onto Xurkitree. This is looking if Alex decided to go for this Garchomp with Moon Blast, then I think he's in a pretty good situation, because yeah, Togedemaru is carrying the Focus Sash, so it is going to be able to live this, and presumably Tapu Fini will knock out this Garchomp with a Moon Blast. Oh, he went into the double targeted into the Xurkitree. That's a tough play there for Alex. Now, Nate can pretty much win just by quipping Earthquake and Dazzling Gleam. Or he can't Earthquake this turn, but he could Poison Jab Dazzling Gleam if that's what he carries. So it could come down to Togedemaru could stay on the field a little bit longer to avoid the keep the Lightning Rod up and knock out that Garchomp, and then try to 1v1 or 2v1 this Xurkitree with the Tapu Fini and the Xurkitree. That's going to be a tall order though, because that Xurkitree is just going to be able to outdamage Tapu Fini, and it may even be faster than the Tapu Fini. We haven't seen that yet, but normally Xurkitrees are faster than Tapu Finis. You see the Rock Slide, that picks up the KO onto the Togedemaru, so this is looking pretty rough here for Alex. We'll see if he can what he can go for. And we do see a Thunderbolt come out onto that Tapu Mini. There's no way it's going to be able to take that, and Nate is, and it gets the critical hit for good measure, but Nate's able to take this set over Alex Underhill 2-0, so we will see Nate move on into our top 4, which we will be streaming as soon as the match is available. The other matches, we're still waiting on some other matches here in top 8 to finish. So yeah, join us back, come back to here and